everyone, good afternoon. My name is Kai Magsanok, Editor-in-Chief of Hello Doctor Philippines. Today, we have a very special interview because usually when we feature doctors, we feature them in our um, Ask the Expert series, right? But for today, it's quite different because we have a doctor with us and she's actually a Hello Health hero because she's here to share with us her journey in facing and overcoming one of the most dreaded conditions. We know this because according to our data, our readers go on our website and read about cancer, many different types of cancers. But today, let's let Dr. Shara Que-Felix share with us her story for Hello Health Heroes. Hi, Doc Shara.
Hi, good afternoon.
So we're so grateful, no, I'm sure we'll have another interview for Ask the Expert where we're gonna talk about health issues of kids in the time of COVID, right?
Yeah.
Today it's all about you sharing your story with us, and thank you because the point of this is Hello Doctor is here to hopefully give people hope. No, hope and then medically verified information, of course.
Yes.
Hope that they can overcome, right? They can take care of themselves or their loved ones, no, who are maybe suffering from something. So, how are you today, Doc? How are things?
I'm good. Back to normal. I try to go to the clinic at least once a week. Yeah. Trying to restart my
So you are a pediatrician, Doctora, and you're the person behind Baby Wise.
Yes, I
So
am.
for the benefit of our viewers, please tell us more about Baby Wise.
So Baby Wise Pediatric Clinic is a clinic we opened last February 2020. But within that month, I also gave birth. And it was the start of the pandemic already. So we had to close down the clinic for a while for my safety, my baby's safety, and everyone else's, our staff. And then in May 2020, when the Pediatric Society said that we still had to continue immunizing our kids, our patients, we decided to reopen the clinic, but to only cater to the well babies. So these are the newborns or any children needing immunizations. So from then on, up until present, we're only catering to well babies. So for those patients who get sick, we only offer sick consultation. So this is to ensure the safety of both the doctors and of course the other patients who visit the clinic as well.
Okay. I think Delta is also affecting kids. Have you had cases where parents are reaching out to hopefully make sure their kids are not affected by COVID?
Yeah, actually, it's true what you hear in the news that more kids are getting sick, and we've been getting more consults online for children who's had fever, cough, and colds. What we do is we try to help monitor them. We give them a COVID care a COVID care handbook, and then we also ask them to be tested, and so far naman none of our patients have tested positive for COVID, even if they've been having some symptoms of COVID.
That's good to know, I guess, right? Kasi it's also the seasonal
Flu. Yes, that's why.
Okay, so I guess for the parents, if you have any suspicion, first thing you do is to reach out.
Pediatricians, yeah. Very important.
Okay, so Doc Shara, we are having this conversation today because for Hello Health Heroes, we feature patients, no? Or sometimes it could also be their carers, no, who want to share with us their story. It's not really us, it's for everyone else. It's for the 200,000 people who come on the Hello Doctor website every month to read stories. Okay, so your story as a cancer survivor, would definitely give hope to others because based on what has been shared with me, by Christelle, our senior editor, who actually connected us. No? You were diagnosed last year also, Feb.
No, just this year.
Just this year?
February 2021, yeah.
February this year. Okay, so, but it's still, diba, the business, last year, Feb,
Yes.
opening the clinic, having a baby, and then I hope you were enjoying motherhood, and then
I was.
I will let you share your story with us. So please tell us, Doc Shara, your journey.
So there, like I said, I delivered I gave birth in Feb 2020. And so I stayed home for most of the time, taking care of my baby unless I had patients who I had to see in the clinic. So late December of 2020, I began to have shortness of breath when going up the stairs. And really, I thought it was just because my baby was getting heavier already, and maybe I was getting a little bit out of shape. And so I kind of dismissed it. But it would persist until about late January of this year, 2021. So since it was a new year and I was due my annual medical checkup already, I decided to get some of my blood tests done already. No? So this was around February of 2021. So the CBC result alone was alarming already. It showed that my red blood cells, my white blood cells, and my platelet count were really, really low, and that I needed transfusions already. And so I was scared, but I did have to have myself admitted already. On my admission, a bone marrow biopsy was done to try to rule out what the possible causes of my condition was, and I was diagnosed with acute lymphocytic leukemia on Feb 4, 2021. So, of course, this was the diagnosis that I didn't want to hear. I was hoping it was something else, but nothing else would also lead to what was seen in my CBC kasi. So I didn't want to hear it was cancer, but I was so scared na it really was it. So right before my admission, I asked for prayers, and then during my admission, and of course when I found out what the diagnosis was, I immediately asked as much people as I could to help me pray. Of course, I wanted to get better. Sorry. So I have a new baby who just turned 1 and all that. So it was a very scary time for me. But I also knew that, based on facts, that it was something that I had to get treated at once. Of course, being a doctor, I know the treatments also have some side effects. So that was what I was scared of. What the side effects could be, and if I would make it out alive, really. So in the hospital where I was admitted, I have ninongs and ninangs who are doctors who work there also. So they were giving me advice, and they were really encouraging me to just keep on fighting. And so the advances in science and in healthcare, of course, make it possible for leukemia to already be treated. Even if they keep saying this, in my head, this is cancer. It's something really scary, right? And I know that it would be the prayers that will help me most. So I underwent 2 rounds of chemotherapy after that diagnosis in March and in early April. And then, thankfully, with the help of God, I was able to go into remission at once. My oncologist said that the treatment given to me was aggressive already. And I guess this is what led me to early remission also. So being on remission, meaning I was cancer-free for that period, I could already go on with a stem cell transplant. So the stem cell transplant increases my chances of survival kasi. So this was the goal, right, of treatment. On April 24, 2021, with the blessing of God, of course, I was able to go through the stem cell transplant. with very little side effects. And then I'm on my 4th month of the transplant now. Just last month, we did a test to see how the donor cells are working, if my body has accepted it. And thankfully, I accepted it naman. There was a period though when I was reacting to the donor cells. It manifested as allergies, as rashes. And so it was literally all over my body. It was itchy. I had sleepless nights because of it. And if you try to look it up online, it's called graft versus host disease. And there's really no treatment for it. It's what do you call this? It depends on my body whether or not I will respond to the steroids that will be given to me. And so when I was reading upon that, I said, God, ikaw na bahala. I just left everything with him, surrendered everything to him, and continued praying. Of course, I asked the people I know to help me pray also, because there's no real treatment for it. And I could only turn to God and ask him to please heal me and to help my body respond to the treatments that were being given to me. And thankfully, within 2 weeks, my body naman responded to it. So right now, I'm trying to taper off the steroids. My doctor is already trying to taper off the steroids that I'm taking every day. And I'm cancer-free as of the moment.
Okay, that's good to know. Really happy to hear that.
Thank you.
The kind of cancer that you had, can you say it again, the complete name?
It's acute lymphocystic leukemia.
Acute lymphocystic leukemia. Was it caused by any lifestyle factors, or is it something that even if you had a healthy, right? Because we have athletes like Lance Armstrong, right? Healthy cyclist, and then suddenly diagnosed with cancer. So I'm wondering, is it something lifestyle related, or what would cause a cancer like that?
Actually, this isn't lifestyle related at all. It's not even hereditary. It can just spontaneously happen to anyone. They would say that maybe some chemicals could cause it, but I don't live near any factories. I don't work with chemicals, and no one knows how I got it even.
Okay. So yeah, maybe God has a reason, right?
Yeah.
Maybe God has a reason. But what have you done any lifestyle changes, or what has your oncologist advised you to change or to do, so that now that you're in remission and doing the stem cell treatment, magtuloy-tuloy na, diba? And hopefully, wag na siya bumalik, diba? Yung bisita mong dumalaw, dire-diretso na siya.
Yeah. Actually, for blood cancers, they don't advise us to even change our diet. Unlike mga solid organ cancers, like yung mga breast cancers, there's diets that they encourage. For leukemia, no changes, except that because I'm taking steroids and some medications that suppress my immune system, I'm just not allowed to go out as much. But because we are in the pandemic now, and everyone's wearing a mask and being very careful, parang it's the norm. Nothing extra naman for me.
Okay. So Doc, aside from your amazing spirit, I was actually thinking of that the other day. What are the other facets of health and wellness that are not exactly medical, but that affect a person's state of well-being? So I was talking about it with my editor's financial health, right? That affects the mental health of people.
Yes.
Talk about, maybe we need to talk to financial health experts and have a mental health expert on board. I was thinking of that. And I was also thinking of spiritual health. For example, in my case, I cannot start my day without listening to Mass.
That's good.
Yeah, because it's like when you are troubled with something and then you hear the gospel and the homily, it's like parang alam ni Lord kung ano
Yes.
directly, right? Even if it's
Yeah.
the hundreds of people listening to the same homily, the same gospel, but for some reason, for what you are going through or for what is troubling you, the answer is there.
Yes.
So, but let's go back, Doc Shara, to the time when you got the diagnosis. I went back to New Amsterdam. Have you seen that series on Netflix?
Yes, I started it, but it was too sad for me.
Actually, may ano siya may success. Alam mo yun, may maganda naman yung ending ng seasons. Pero when you're a doctor and you understand these things more than the average patient, right? How do you manage the fears? How do you?
There's so much more. It's really so troubling. Like what I was saying with my graft versus host disease earlier, like I would read upon it and parang dead end na. If you don't respond to this, there's no other way you can get treated. And if you can't get treated, what do you have left, right? Just death and all that. And I don't want to believe that God allowed me to go through my transplant only to end up succumbing to graft versus host disease. And so, it's really just faith. I mean, you have to really believe in what you're praying for and believe in what you're fighting for as well. I would pray a lot. I would also cry a lot. Because I'd be scared. But I say, I surrender everything to you, God. And I know you know what I want to happen. And if it's in your will, I hope you can make me live, a little longer. And I think he put me in remission and he made me respond to my medications because he has other plans pa for me.
Yeah, I'm trying not to cry too.
I know. Sorry.
Doc Shara, it's okay because we have so much respect for you and your strength. And I was thinking while you were answering, could it have been? What role did your family play in giving you the fight, diba? Parang you're already strong fighting spirit, right? Your kid, your husband, parang because I always ask, when I speak with doctors, for example, to talk about a particular disease or condition, I always ask about what is the role naman of the carers, what is the role of the people around the patient, because for me that is a big factor, right, in the recovery of the patient if the patient gets well. Because I've been in situations where I have to go on a particular, when I was diagnosed with MCA stenosis, I had to follow the Pinggang Pinoy. I had to fix my diet, and of course when you eat with your family, there are members who don't share it with you, and then my son decided to follow the Pinggang Pinoy with me, so that So how was your child and your husband through the journey, through all of it?
Well, my baby is only a year old, so he doesn't really know a lot of what's been happening. But when I got home from the hospital after months of leaving him alone with my parents, he'd just stay by me. Like every single time I'm out of his sight, he'll start looking for his mom, saying "Mama, Mama" every time. And of course, he is the main reason why I want to fight this disease, why I wanted to fight it. Whenever I feel like this, like scared, or whenever I start to worry, my husband would remind me always na we prayed for it, and God, he believes as well that God wouldn't have put me in this place where I am healed if he didn't have other plans for me. So basically my husband and the rest of my family are also being very strong for me. I know that they get worried, but they don't show it to me. They always just remind me to pray and that they are praying with me. And since God started answering all my prayers, like getting better, allowing me to get my transplant, and then the transplant working. So they just tell me na God already answered you. So believe that he will continue to take care of you. That's the message. I mean, that's what my parents always tell me. That's what my husband also tells me. So they're my biggest support system. Yeah. And then they're also always ready to listen to me when I get scared, when I get worried over my rash, over my symptoms, ganyan. They're always there to remind me, you're done now with that. Just live in the present, live day by day, and when you get worried, you can talk to us or you can pray. So they try to give me time to pray every day para they take care of my son for me, so that I have my own time also, my alone time, if I want to pray and have a silent moment.
Okay. So that's what your family and what your husband will tell you. Pero ikaw, Doc Shara, what's your takeaway from this experience so far? It's still ongoing.
It is still ongoing, yes, because I'm still on maintenance medications, and I will be for the next 2 to 3 years. I think my takeaway for it is that continue to have faith. I mean, I've always been prayerful, and I believe in the miracles that happened when Jesus was on earth. But and then whenever I pray for, Lord, sana wag po traffic, or sana I get parking space in the hospital, little things like that. I know na, oops, I got parking because I prayed. I mean, I never think na it's just coincidence. But going through what I went through the past 6 months, everything happened so quickly. And then I got healed. I was just telling my husband, I didn't think I'd make it through the Burr months after being diagnosed, so I'm so thankful. So I really think that my biggest takeaway from this whole experience is that God is really there. He really listens to us. Faith played a very important factor in my healing, because even afterwards, of course, I would have weekly checkups, and in my head, I'm still sick, and there was always that anxiety na, what if they find something again, and all that. But when I started praying a little bit more, and then when I surrendered, in the beginning, I told him, Lord, ikaw na po bahala. But of course, I was still scared. But after my transplant, and then, I was still having my weekly checkups, I would still get worried. And then one day I said, I leave everything up to you na talaga. I don't want to look up anything anymore. I don't want to be over-prepared with all the diagnoses and all that. I just believe that you're there for me, and ikaw na po bahala, God. And, I started to feel a little bit better. And then I could do the things I used to do already without being scared na, tomorrow I'm going to die na. Parang ganun. So my faith in God played a very important role in my healing and all of this.
Filipinos, Doc Shara, we're matiisin eh, 'di ba? When the disease, when the cancer was discovered, I think the timing also played a role, so that you would go into remission as quickly as you did. Parang what could have been the consequences if it was found, it was discovered or diagnosed much later, diba? Parang, and my question is, uh, your advice to patients, or maybe people who are feeling symptoms, for example, when should they see their doctor already, right? Yung wag na magtiis, wag na magano kasi bago pa siya lumala, mating sa
Yeah.
point na hindi na siya matreat, 'di ba? Yun ang iniiwasan kasi natin. What is your advice?
Well, basically, the moment you feel something, try to monitor it and see if it will persist. And then um, try to uh, observe also when it happens. I mean, like with me, I had shortness of breath already going up the stairs. Otherwise, I was okay naman. And then I observed, but then it persisted nga. And so I decided, might as well get my blood tests done already and see if there's something wrong somewhere. So because I'm a doctor, I could monitor myself. But for patients, give it a week or two. And if it's something that really, if you're really feeling something and you can see a pattern, might as well contact your doctor already. And then, when you hear what the diagnosis is, yes, it could be very scary, but number one, trust in God. And number two, trust in your doctor also. It's very important that you trust your doctor. And, because he's the one who diagnosed it, he's the one who will treat you. And it's better kasi if you stay with your doctor because he knows your history, he knows na what happened, what was given to you, and why it was given to you. It's very hard na, like for my condition, if I change doctors pa in the middle of my treatment, it's better na one doctor na lang, tuloy-tuloy na. At least he knows what I react to or what was given to me prior, things like that.
Okay. How about your message, Doc Shara, to the family or the carers of the patient?
It's very important for them to understand the patient also. Just because the patient appears like she's already accepted the disease, it doesn't mean that inside she has. So I know everyone's trying to understand the patient, diba? I mean, like if she's moody or if he or she is doesn't want to talk about it, just give her some time also. But always be on the lookout for signs of maybe depression, na di na siya kumakain pala, and things like that. What she might be showing outwardly isn't what she's feeling. So just be very sensitive of that also. And of course, be her strongest support system, especially the carers. Just keep reminding the patient, of God's mercy, God's goodness, most especially.
And on that point, Doc, so you are being healed by human healers, right? And being healed by the divine healer. But
Yes.
being a healer yourself, how has this experience affected you as a doctor, as a healer?
Well, it's easy to think before, it's very easy to think I got to help this patient because of this medicine. And then sometimes, you forget you're able to heal because of God. He's there guiding you all the way. And so I think I'm more mindful of it now, that every time I issue a prescription, every time I talk to a patient, I remember to thank God immediately thank you for helping me out in this case. Thank you for making this possible for me and my patient, things like that. Because back then, tuloy-tuloy. When you see a patient, one after the other, you give the medicines, and then you give the medicines, and then they tell you they're better na. And it's easy to think I did that. But it's not just me talaga. It's really because God is there guiding me in everything that I do.
Okay.
It's the biggest impact on me na, you know, always remember that I'm not doing it alone.
Yes, there's someone working through you.
Yes.
So, I agree with that. So, we can end this interview now. And but before we do, please tell our viewers where they can reach out. Maybe to say a prayer for you if they want to, or if they have kids now that you're
Yeah.
back at work. Where can they go or call so that they can have their kids checked by the Baby Wise team.
So we are on Facebook as Baby Wise Pediatric Clinic. They can just leave us a message there, and then our secretary will be the one to answer any of their concerns.
Okay. So Doc Shara, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you also.
Thank you for sharing your story with us. Yeah, it's a success story that we
It
definitely
is.
watch over and over again. And maybe in another 6 months, we can do parang a top-up, kumustahan.
Yes, follow up.
Long hair na ulit.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go, Doc Shara Que-Felix and her story of triumph over cancer. It's an ongoing journey, so let's keep praying for her. And not just for her, but for the doctors who are helping her get better, and for the other patients, no, of the same type of cancer. Cancer is for those who do not have strong faith in God. It might seem like a death sentence, but it doesn't have to. Pray, observe. Don't believe everything you find on search on the internet.
Yes.
Go on Hello Doctor, read medically verified information, and then call your doctor or call your doctor immediately. Pretty soon, you're gonna see Doc Shara on hellodoctor.com's the expert panel also, so we're so excited about that. Until our next interview for Hello Health Heroes, this has been Kai Bugsana of Hello Dr. PH. So stay well.
Stay well. Thank you.
Okay.